What up, everybody? Blaze One Sports and the NFL draft is over. Who did your team get? Are you happy with your draft picks? Let me know in the comment section. Me, for my Cowboys, we did decent, we did all right, but pretty much none of the players that we drafted were expected. So let's go ahead and go over our picks real quick. Our team needs a running back, tight end, wide receiver, inside linebacker, corner. We really need offensive guard. So let's see how we did in draft. Cowboys, first pick in the first round, 27th pick overall. The Cowboys selected Mozzie Smith, 6'3", 323, defensive nose tackle from Michigan. He's a good player, but I wasn't expecting to draft him. Osiris Torrance, a couple other players were still on the board that I would have liked before Mozzie Smith. Couple other linemen, just some other players. I think a couple of receivers were still on the board too, but we really didn't need that. But we got Mozzie Smith with the first pick. It was kind of a surprise. At first, I was kind of like mad at it, but then when I had to look into it, I'm not really not mad because Mozzie Smith, he's a good player. He's a good nose tackle. Look for him to disrupt the ball, disrupt plays, get in on the quarterback. He's gonna help. Take some pressure off of the linebackers, Micah Parsons. So him and Micah Parsons should be having a field day on the defense. But yeah, at first I wasn't sure about Mozzie, but I mean he's a good, decent pick for the 27th pick overall. There was a couple players out there, but like I said, Osiris Torrance, I would have wanted him, but he was still available in the second round, and we passed him up on the second round too. But we desperately needed a guard. We need the offensive line help because our offensive line's been hurt and players just not showing up. So Mozzie Smith for the first pick, not mad at it. I would say it's an average pick, but maybe a little bit better than average because he is a good player to get at number 27. Like this year's draft was loaded with all positions. There's a lot of running backs, a lot of receivers. Besides quarterback, just overall the draft was loaded with good talent this year. So really can't be mad at Mozzie Smith, number one. For the first round, number 27 overall. He definitely wouldn't have been around in the second round. He would have been gone before that, before the Cowboys' second round pick. But it's a decent pick, so it's like whatever. It's a decent pick. He'll help the defense. He should start day one. They need a defensive tackle, and they need amongst other things. But Mozzie Smith should be solid as the first round pick. In the second round, we got Luke Schoonmaker, tight end from Michigan. I really don't like that pick. It's like another whatever pick. I think maybe we could have got a Schoonmaker in the third. But I was fine with Ferguson and Hendershot going into the season with them as my tight ends. If it was up to me, I wouldn't have drafted any tight ends in this draft. Luke Schoonmaker, to me, is kind of a reach at number two. Well, he might have been gone by the third pick. By the third round, maybe not. But overall, he's a good player, but he didn't play a lot in college. He missed a lot of time, but he's NFL ready. He should be a solid tight end. But like I said, I would have rather have drafted Osiris Torrance at number two, and I would have I wouldn't have drafted Schoonmaker. I would have drafted the guard out of Florida. And then I would have just went with Hendershot and Ferguson as my tight ends. But, it's 50-50 on this one. The second round pick, Schoonmaker, he's good, but I would have passed him up for an offensive guard. So that pick's iffy too. So second round, 27th pick in the second round, Luke Schoonmaker to the Cowboys. It's like a whatever pick. He's a name. He's an NFL-ready tight end, but we already have two NFL-ready tight ends, Hendershot and Ferguson. So I don't know. If you're concerned about tight end that bad, you should have just kept Dalton Schultz. But we'll go ahead and we'll go with it. Not too mad at it. But like I said, I would have rather gotten the guard out of Florida instead of Schoonmaker at that spot in the second round. But overall, the first pick, I give it a B+. The second pick, Schoonmaker, I'll give it a C+. Next, we got Demarvion Overshown, inside linebacker from Texas. I don't know too much about him, but everyone's saying he's good. He's a good linebacker, athletic, speedy. We're going to need that linebacker help because LVE's always getting hurt. Parkins, Micah Parsons is pretty much an edge rusher. Jabril Cox, who knows if he's going to step up this year. He's been hurt, not playing up to potential lately. But the Marion Overshone, he should really help out the Cowboys linebacking core. We needed linebackers, so that's a good pick. I'm not mad at that pick. That's a solid pick for the third round. I give that a B+. Wilemi Fihoko in the fourth round, San Jose State defensive end. I actually had him going in the 6th or 7th round to the Cowboys. In all the mock drafts that I did, he was always available in the 6th and 7th round. I really like Fihoko. I don't think the Cowboys reached for him 4th round. Maybe they did, but I don't think he would have been there. He's a really good edge rusher. I think he's got family in the NFL. The Cowboys wide receiver, Fihoko, they're cousins, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, Wilemi Fihoko, he's solid at that spot. He's going to be a good defensive end. I don't see him coming in and impacting the game immediately, but he's a solid defensive end, solid draft choice. I'm happy with that pick. At number 5 in the 5th round, the Cowboys select Asim Richards from North Carolina, offensive tackle. I was kind of surprised at that pick. I'm not mad at it. I like it because we need offensive line help. But we got Terrence Steele at tackle. Tyron Smith, he's coming back from injury. He could miss, he's Tyron Smith, the tackle. He's like 50-50 if he's going to play. Lately he's been getting hurt a lot. He's been missing a lot of games. So look for Asim Richards to be like insurance backup, just in case he does go down. But we don't have a guard right now either. We need a guard. So is Asim Richards going to get put in as a guard? I could see that. His body, his frame, he's pretty big. Or will he just ride the bench? I think the Dallas Cowboys are going to try him out at guard. They're going to move the line around. But I think they got one offensive tackle in this draft. And then the undrafted free agents, they signed 2 or 3 more offensive linemen off the street. So look for Asim Richards maybe to play guard, or he'll be insurance for Tyron Smith if he gets hurt. But I could definitely see Asim Richards playing guard. They got Tyler Badass at the center, then Smith and Steele at the 2 tackles. Steele's just recently converted tackle. He just got a deal, so I don't see him going nowhere. So yeah, look for Asim Richards maybe to get plugged in at the guard spot. Play some time at guard, play some time at tackle. Hopefully Tyron Smith stays healthy this year. Then we can see Asim Richards at the guard spot. But that might be the plan of the Cowboys to move Asim to guard. So keep an eye on that. In the 6th round, Cowboys had 2 6th-round picks. Their first 6th-round pick, they had the number 1 overall pick in the 6th round. And they picked Eric Scott Jr., cornerback from Southern Miss. I don't know too much about him, so I really can't grade it. But the Cowboys needed cornerback help, so they drafted one. Eric Scott Jr. from Southern Miss, the cornerback. Like I said, I don't know too much about him. I think he's 5'10", 6 foot. Hopefully he works out. We got Jordan Lewis, Anthony Brown. We just signed Gilmore, or traded for him, and then we have Tavon Diggs. So we're good at the cornerback spot. We just need some backups, a little bit, help for the starters. But other than that, yeah, the Cowboys secondary is looking pretty good. Kelvin Joseph needs to step up this year. He kind of didn't play good last year, and that's what they're counting on. So they're counting on last year's rookies to step it up. Jabril Cox, Kelvin Joseph, a couple of others that just didn't perform like we thought they would. Then the next 35 overall in the 6th round, they got Deuce Vaughn, Kansas State. He is, I think, the smallest running back. He's 5'5". He's the smallest running back in the NFL right now. I think he might be the smallest running back in NFL history. Deuce Vaughn, he's 5'5". He's a speedy running back coming out of the backfield, kind of like a slot receiver running back. He's like Tony Pollard, but smaller. Did the Cowboys draft him to start over Pollard, or if Pollard's not ready because of his injury? No, he's just a solid pick in the 6th round. He's a solid running back. Evans was still on the board, the running back from Ole Miss, but the Cowboys passed on him. They really like Deuce Vaughn. He's a speedy, shifty receiver coming out of the backfield like a slot receiver, running back. Deuce Vaughn's dad works for the Dallas Cowboys in the scouting department. During the draft, they had Deuce Vaughn's dad. They told him to stay home this year because they didn't want to make it a conflict of interest for some reason by drafting Deuce Vaughn, even though you're in the professionals, so that shouldn't matter. But yeah, Deuce Vaughn, his dad is a Cowboys coach and scout for the Cowboys. And Deuce Vaughn, 5'5", NFL smallest running back ever to play in the NFL. He's 5'5", speedy, shifty running back coming out of the backfield, slot receiver. He's really good. I look for him to get a lot of touches this year as long as he stays healthy and does good. Pollard's coming off the injury, and then we have Ronald Jones, who might make the team, might not. They just signed him. He's old. So they got Pollard, Jones, Malik Davis, and now Deuce Vaughn. I think the Cowboys still need one more solid running back. Like, I think they need a solid, like a Derrick Henry type, like a starting workhorse. Because Pollard's coming back. He's expected to be their starter, but who knows, because he's coming off that injury, and he was always a backup his whole career. He did break 1,000 yards, so we'll see. I mean, he's capable of being a starter, but it all depends how he comes back from his injury. I think he had a broken fibula, major injury. So you got Pollard, Ronald Jones, Deuce Vaughn, Malik Davis. I see Deuce Vaughn starting off at the number 3 running back. I think we should still try to go out and trade some next year's draft picks, try to get Derrick Henry. Like I said, the Cowboys, they need that solid running back. They need that definite bona fide number 1 starter, and I don't think Pollard is it, even if he comes back healthy. I think we still need that home run number 1 running back. So hopefully we address that. Deuce Vaughn is not the answer, but he's a good running back, but he's not the answer. And last, we got Jalen Brooks, South Carolina, wide receiver in the 7th round. Don't know too much about him either. Hopefully he works out. He's a solid receiver. If he makes the team, he'll either be a practice squad. I don't see him making the main roster because we got Fihoko, T.Y. Hilton's still out there. We just got Brandon Cooks, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup. That's 5 receivers right there. We haven't officially brought back T.Y. Hilton, but we haven't ruled it out either. And we got Jalen Tolbert, who's supposed to be good, but he didn't really play too much last year. He was on special teams. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Cowboys had a good year last year, but we lost in the playoffs. That was disappointing. So this year, none of these draft picks is what I expected, and I'm sure none of the Cowboys expected, Cowboys fans. Maybe Luke Schoonmaker, but I had Luke Schoonmaker going in the 3rd or 4th round. Like I said, Schoonmaker is the only person on who they actually drafted who I thought the Cowboys might draft. Everybody else is like a mystery, besides Fihoko. Viliami Fihoko, I wanted them to draft him, and I could see them drafting him, and they drafted him. But other than that, none of the big names got drafted by the Cowboys. We passed up on Darren Washington, the tight end from Georgia. We passed up on Osiris Torres, the guard from Florida. A couple other big names we passed up on. I wanted Zach Charbonnet, the running back, but he went early in the 2nd round to the Seahawks. And then during the draft, the Eagles traded for DeAndre Swift, who I think the Cowboys were going to go for. It was rumored, but the Eagles swooped in and got him. So that's it for the draft. That's how the Cowboys did overall. I'm not mad at the Cowboys draft. I give the Cowboys draft, I'll give them a B. Because they addressed their needs. They didn't get the name players, but they addressed their needs, filling the holes that they had. Hopefully they reached on some players they took early, some players they reached on, but overall it was a decent draft. I can't be mad at it. It wasn't terrible, it wasn't bad, just decent. And let me know what you guys think. How did your team do in this year's draft? Let me know in the comment section. But anyway, so overall I give them a B. Cowboys did good. Wish they would have got some offensive line earlier and a better running back earlier, but it is what it is. So let me know in the comment section. Thoughts, comments, questions, opinions in the comment section. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Blaze One Sports.